If you've ever considered installing a 3D background, this video is either gonna make you never ever wanna have one, or it'll convince you that your tank could look 1,000 times better. And if you happen to find yourself in the latter, I'll have a discount code for you at the end of this video. You ready? Let's go. The first thing I want to tell you about 3D backgrounds is that they come in many different shapes, sizes, and installation styles. I started my 3D background journey with a very thick background in my old 75-gallon tank. It required a bunch of silicone, and I never had a single problem with it at all. I actually gave this tank away with the original 3D background included 4 or 5 years later. Then I pivoted to much slimmer backgrounds that didn't require silicone at all, and those perform just as well and are still looking great. Then for whatever reason, I decided to go back to a silicone background because I saw it, I loved it, and the only option was to silicone this background. After installing it, the silicone ended up not holding on 3 separate occasions, and I was jolted out of bed a few times to the sound of the background trying to be free of my tank. But this was my own doing for not applying the right amount of silicone in the right way. These were massive pieces that were very buoyant and needed much more silicone than I thought. Long story short, I stopped trying to fix it and decided it was time to try something new. So let's get started on the hefty process of removing those remaining pieces and all that dried up silicone. Let's dive right in. The first step in removing the rest of that background is to drain the tank, and you guys have told me you like watching this super fast thing, so here you go. Now this first piece came off with just a little tug, no problem. That thing was destined to pop off any day now. This next piece though, the jaws of life couldn't get this thing out. This thing was not coming out ever from this tank. I had to bang on this with the scraper and a hammer for a good 25 to 30 minutes trying to pull this piece out. This goes to show you that even though all these pieces were installed at the same time with the same amount of silicone, some of them are on there like it was welded on and others just came off on their own. So look at this thing. I gotta pull this thing off piece by piece. And I can't even say this piece had more time to cure because it wasn't even the first piece installed. But yes, of course, finally, eventually, it does also come off. We get that piece out of the tank. And now begins the unbelievable journey of scraping all of that silicone. When I say that I didn't use enough silicone, I really don't know how much I was supposed to use because there was a ton of silicone left behind. And I got this sped up so fast, guys. Well, actually, first, check out what happened to my boy Flaco. Serious? I knew that the arrows were going to be jumping around, but I had no idea Flaco was going to perform a hole-in-one like that. Anyway, this thing is at 50 times speed, just so you could get an idea of how much scraping really had to be done to get it all off this background. It was a mission. Now that I finally got done, I'm getting out of this tank, and I want to clean it up a little bit and get all these leftover pieces out of there because I don't want that straggling around in the tank. So I'll net it out real quick before we move on to the next task, which is getting the new background installed. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, it's time to show you guys the brand new 3D background from Aquadecor backgrounds that we're installing today. This background is one of Aquadecor's new slim and flex models. This is how it arrived, all rolled up, and check out the background as I unroll it. This piece has a mixture of color gradients, peaks and valleys, a huge tree trunk element that I love, including some peat moss growing on the tree trunk. I absolutely love this design. It comes with pre-cut holes for my overflows and return lines. Whether you've got a sump, canister, or hang-on back, Aquadecor will customize your background to fit around any type of filtration. And finally, this bad boy is held to the back of the tank with suction cups. Yes, sir, no more silicone for me. I know my strengths and weaknesses, and silicone is definitely not for me. Could be for you though. To each their own. As fly as this thing looks sitting right here on the floor, I bet you it's gonna look better in the tank. Let's get started. Step number 1, gotta drain the tank. I'm draining with my Vivison 2600 gallon per hour pump. If you're interested in it, link will be in the description, or you can check out the KaveMan shop. And maybe you could see the reason why I use a pump like this. I've already drained it twice in this video, but this is also my normal water change amount. Twice a month, I drain about 80%. So we need to have quick drain. I will start removing the lights and the glass tops. So we're gonna get dark for a little bit. Yes, these are thick and heavy glass tops. And you need these if you're gonna keep arowana. Then we'll start to remove the decor because I know that these arowanas are gonna be jumping while I'm in the tank. They've done it before and I don't want them landing on this stuff and getting scratched up themselves. Plus I need all the space I can get in there, you know? Are these all going back in the tank? I don't know yet. We gotta see what happens. Whew. Pleco just landed from there. Gotta keep an eye out for my second pleco. Make sure he's not attached to any of these pieces. There he is. All right. Found 2 plecos. We're good. They're in the tank. I was gonna get the rocks out, but I don't think I need to. I'll just push it all to the front. Now it's time to dive into the tank, move some of that sand off the back of the glass, and then go from there. Of course, both arowanas are on this side. I'm gonna give them a chance to get over to the other side before I get all the way in because they're gonna start jumping any second now. All right, they're gone. All right, rocks to the front. Plants out of the tank, please. Get some of these dead leaves out of here. It's a good opportunity to do that. Now, these roots that you see here were here for a purpose, obviously for the plants to live outside of the water. But now, all of these roots are gonna be hidden behind the background. Like I said, matter of time. I also have to move a little bit slower because they're gonna start feeling my presence if they haven't already. I left more water in the tank than I usually do when I'm in here, just to give them more space while I'm in here. Thumbnail? Okay, not too bad so far. What I'm gonna do now is carefully move over to that side and try to get all the fish to swim over to the other side. Not like that. They don't want to go from this corner, but they're gonna have to because I'm making my way over there. I don't want to step on nobody. All right, guys, I know you like this corner, but I need you guys to move, please. Excuse me. Go the other way. Go the other way. There's another side of the tank. Yes, go that way. Go that way. Go that way. Go that way. Good, good, good. Excuse me, guys. Go that way. Go that way. I don't want to step on you. Don't want to step on nobody. Go that way. Yes, good, good. All right. Don't come back over here, Blanco. Stay over there. What is this thing I'm using, you ask? I don't know. My wife found this thing. It's made out of PVC or something. It's very flexible, safe on the glass. I like it. Picasso. I use it for moving substrate around when I need to. And yes, I can do it without having to be in the tank. These plants, roots and all, are gonna have to hang out in the tank while we do our job because these are really gonna be in the way when we start to install that background. And I don't want those roots to dry up anyway. We also have to now take off our overflow boxes, get these things out of the way. Now these pipes are siliconed into this back glass here. So we'll see how difficult it is to get the background over it. This one, cool, came out. The outputs come out real easy. That's not siliconed in there. That's a plus for me. This one definitely is. The intakes are siliconed in there, so we'll have to figure it out. Just realized my foot could do a better job than the plastic pipe. All right, let's get out of here and grab this background. Now comes the fun part. Let's get the background in there. Whoa. Oh shit, I shouldn't have put it here. That was dumb. I should start from the edge. So first things first, this installation is gonna look very difficult because I'm gonna be sweating soon. But let me say this flex background has been the easiest 3D background installation out of the 4 or 5 backgrounds that I have. Good thing this is flexible. And I'm doing this in the tank with water, with substrate, with fish. If this was done in a brand new tank, dry, it'd be cakewalk, 100%. But I'm not gonna lie, this does take some muscle, this does take some creativity to get it installed correctly. Some of these suction cups are holding already. All right, let's get one side done first. All right, a lot of fish right here. A lot of fish right here. Excuse me, guys. Pardon the interruption.
Don't go this way, go that way. Thank you very much.
I decided to start on one side, make sure it was perfectly flush with the side panel, and then work my way across the other side. Now, being that I have a sump and I have overflow holes and return line holes, these all had to line up perfectly in order for the background to fit perfectly, which therein lies my hurdles that I had to jump
Cut the
through.
mesh off.
You'll see in a second.
Get it up and over.
So my overflow has a 90-degree elbow on it, which I had previously cemented to the back panel glass, which means it's not just simply going to go through the hole in the background. So here's where I've got to use a little force, a little muscle, and eventually a little leverage with a flathead screwdriver. But I was able to eventually get it on. Yeah, it was frustrating at first, but when it actually went on, it was a very satisfying feeling. And then I knew what to do for all the other overflows. Now, my outputs also are kind of a weird design. This is a specific design by Custom Aquariums, and it's not just a straight pipe that's gonna go from the glass in the back through the background. So again, I had to be a little creative, pull out my box cutter, and just cut a slit in the background. The good news is, this flex background was super easy to cut with a box cutter. It didn't take any muscle at all to get this cut, and I got that piece out of the way and installed my return lines without a problem. Then I just had to do the same thing 2 or 3 more times for my other overflows and returns, and all of that was set up.
Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, next one. This one's gonna be another challenge. Another challenge.
I saw my bro Ozzy swimming in his pond with all his koi fish the other day, and I don't know if I would consider this the same thing.
Okay, let me try to get these guys out of here.
I'm a little too close to these arowana. And my discus loved me so much, they didn't want to leave this corner where I was. They just wanted to hang out with me here, but I had to, you know, be the responsible parent and get them moving to the other side so they didn't get hurt. Sorry guys, but we got work to do. Then Blanco, of course, had a fit because I'm showing too much attention to the discus. And I actually got a little scared because Blanco got a little close right there. Didn't want him to think my fingers were a little snack, you know what I mean? And then there's always one. There's always one that just wants to be a little different, knows that I'm trying to get everybody out from behind this background, and he keeps going back behind the background. I got my eye on you, bro. Now, before I really finish securing all the suction cups to the back glass, I want to take a quick look behind the background and make sure I didn't miss anybody, specifically the plecos that like to hide in the dark. So I took a good look. I didn't see anybody behind the background at all, except for one guy again in this corner. Guess who?
Perfect. Perfecto. Ay, coño. Casi me caigo. Okay, don't look bad, don't look bad. Here's a first look before cleanup, before we get all this dust and dirt and plants out of here. Looking pretty good. It wasn't the easiest thing to install. It definitely takes a little bit of gusto, but once you got it in there, it's well worth it. As for the water inside, it looks like a huge mess, and we're gonna get it cleaned up. no problem. It's mostly roots and plant leaves that fell off. Not trying to get all of it, but I want to get most of the big pieces out. And then after we fill up, the filtration will do the rest. We'll get the job done. Where'd I get this big old net from, you ask? The pool supply store. That's where you get a net this big. This is a pool net. All right, that's good enough for now. Let's see what decor we put back inside here now. Get these rocks moved around a little bit. I really like these Amazon roots, so I don't want them to go to waste. But I don't want to bombard the tank and make it look too cluttered. So we'll see how many we're gonna put in here for now. Let's put the roots in first and then move some rocks around. Let's call it one more. Let's call it one more. I like the number 3. Number 3 is a good number. That guy's kind of right smack in the center, and I don't like that he's in the center of the tank. It's too centered. So let me get this guy where he's gonna go. What I don't want to do is cover up this beautiful tree trunk over here. So this guy's gonna go, all right, we'll go right here. So it doesn't block the wave maker flow. He's gonna go a little closer. The glass is gonna hold it too. Excuse me, Flaco. Don't jump now, because now you'll get hurt. That's a good spot. All right, let's move some of these rocks over. This rock can go all the way over there. Yeah, it's time to get... All right, let's move the sand around. Try to make it even and flush, because look at these waves over here in the front. Now we could do this from the outside. We don't have to get back in the tank. We can move some of this around. Make sure we got enough all over. What they need is some water right now. Now let's get to filling. As you can see, the tank is already filling with water. And while it's filling, during the filling, is when I grab my Chem Prime to dechlorinate that tap water. You don't have to go crazy and rush and do it instantly. That little bit of chlorine that's being added right now is not going to affect them at all. You have time to add prime. As you can see, I'm taking my time. But we're going to go ahead and add 400 gallons worth of prime, which is 40 milliliters. It's about right. And I like to pour it right where the water is actually coming into the tank. That way that flow of water helps to mix the prime in. Now at this point, this is essentially a really big water change. Look at that green phantom over there, looking good. This is how I do my water changes. I'm just adding water. I do prime as a water conditioner, and I don't add anything else to this tank as it fills up. But because I was in there today, stressing them all out, today I will add some stress guard into the tank just to help them calm down in case anybody got a little bit of scuffs or scrapes from swimming around and banging on rocks and stuff. The stress guard is going to help to heal them and help them recover nice and quick. Bam. Again, 400 gallons worth of stress guard. I already know is about that much. And it'll go right into the tank where the new water is being added. Again, just to help mix it up while the tank is filling. So I just did a temperature check. That water's kind of cold. And right now you don't want cold water in this tank while these guys are a little bit more stressed than usual. I'm gonna make sure that temperature is as close as possible to what they like, which is, for me, 86 degrees for the discus in this tank. Let's kick these lights back on just for 1 second to make sure they're in the right place. Whoa, whoa. It's looking good with the lights on, but we're not ready for that yet. We're not ready. I'm looking at it filling up, right? And I'm like, I really want to put one more Amazon root in there. Just one more. I feel like one more right around this area here might look good, right? What do you think? Of course, I decided to do this once the glass tops are on, and now it's harder to get the root in. We'll get it. What do we think? Let's see what it looks like. Let's see. I'm not going to say it's going to stay there, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, the tank is full, and I already saw what it looks like with the lights on, and it looks incredible. I love it, but there's a bunch of debris floating around, so I don't want to show it to you guys just yet. I'm going to give it 24 hours, let the filters run overnight, and then I want to show you guys with the crystal clear water what it really looks like. But the good thing for you is editing is a beautiful thing because it's tomorrow, just like that, and the tank is now crystal clear. Let's check it out.
Now, there's still a few things I should say about these 3D backgrounds, but first, if you're still here, comment Fish Cave for the W. That way I know who the real ones are. These backgrounds are all custom made, which means that you provide your tank's measurements, including any holes that need to be cut, and Aquadecor will build your background from scratch. Because these are all custom, you shouldn't expect it to fit like a glove. There will be some pulling and pushing. As you guys saw, these installs take a bit of effort and sometimes even a little bit of self-fabrication. But I promise you, after the job is done, you're gonna see the time and effort you put into installing one of these will be well worth it. Now, as promised, for those of you that would like a 3D background of your very own, use code KaveMan10 for a 10% discount at aquadecorbackgrounds.com. The info will also be listed in the description below. After a job like that, a coffee is warranted. But if you want to see my next project, which is going to be a fully planted freshwater tank, that video is right there for you. But before you go, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.